Penny Shelton, coming from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm back in the video seat with you guys, and it's been a couple weeks, and I'm thrilled to be back. I'm excited to share with you today because it's Ocular Week, as you already know, and Bunny asked if I had anything in particular that I might want to talk about today, and I absolutely do. About 2 years ago, I took a real extensive weekend course on iridology. I don't know if you know what iridology is, but let me just read from my manual exactly what it is, so I don't get it wrong. It is the science and study of the color and structure of the iris to determine tissue weakness, which the tissue weakness that an iridologist is going to be looking for and that they'll be able to tell is from lifestyle. It's something that they can look into your eyes and tell you a little bit about what's going on in your body based on the connective tissue in your iris. And they can also look at your body's predisposition to weakness based on genetics. So those are two things that a very well-trained, good iridologist is going to be able to look and see what might be going on in your body. The science of iridology is not used for diagnosis. So, I mean, if someone you go to is telling you you absolutely have cancer or whatever, no. You don't even let them say anything like that, because it's just a tool that's a means of possible assessment for conditions in the body. It shows what tendencies are that you might have. It shows possibilities for, maybe you have a possibility for ovarian issues. And it also shows your potential for maybe your genetic code, and it has included a lot of heart disease. That doesn't mean that you're going to get it, especially if you have a great lifestyle and a good constitution, but an iridologist is going to be able to tell that. So it's just really cool. One of the things that got me most interested in this study is someone had told me that she's a Native American woman, and she's in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, which is about 30 minutes south of Tulsa, and she's been reading irises for probably 35 or 40 years, and she doesn't charge anything. But she does run a little shop called Rock Creek Herbs, and she and her husband run this shop, and it's just like a little health food store with tons of vitamins and minerals and supplements and enzymes and on and on. So I drove out there about 2.5 years ago, and she did a reading for me. And first of all, when I say reading, I don't want you all to be confused. Iridology is not it's not like a tarot card reading or a psychic reading. It is an actual scientific methodology of reading the iris. I mean, there's nothing to do with, you know, New Age, or it's not like that. So, I mean, I had this one woman go, "Oh my God, you're opening yourself up for all kinds," and I'm like, "Listen, you know, it's not like I'm going to go visit a voodoo doctor or a witch doctor. I am going to this woman who, like, she's gifted, there's no doubt, but it's a study. It's scientific, people. It's not crazy stuff." So anyway, she's got me in the chair, and she's looking in my eyes, and the first thing out of her mouth is, "Something's going on, or it looks like something could be going on with your right lung." Well, she didn't know me from Adam, and so she had no way of knowing that 4 months prior to my visit to her, I had had walking pneumonia, and it was settled in my right lung. And I knew that because I had chest x-ray done. And so I'm just like, okay, she got that right. And she said several other things that seemed like I could get it. She said I had some weakness in my bladder, which I've had bladder infections off and on my whole life. And then she said something that kind of freaked me out. She's like, something in your uterus. It's a weakness, or, I mean, have you had any uterine trouble? And at that time, I hadn't had anything, you know, and I'm just like, no. And she's like, you're not pregnant. And I said, no, I'm not pregnant. And so it was probably a month later when I went into my annual gynecological exam, and I'll be darned if I didn't have a uterine tumor. They did a biopsy, and they found that it was benign, but my mother had fibroid tumors. And she never had to have a hysterectomy, but she was plagued with them. I mean, they caused all kinds of symptoms. And so since that time, you know, I've still got that guy hanging out in there. We call it Gertrude the Growth. And Gertrude's I guess she's going to hang out with me until I go through menopause. I don't really know, but I'm trying to keep her under control so that she doesn't get so big, and because the doctor's already like, well, you know, we could take that uterus out, and I'm thinking, well, I'd really like to keep it if I can. Not that I'm planning on using it for anything, you know, significant at this point in my life, but it freaked me out that she could see that. So I would encourage you guys, if you have an iridologist in your area, I would go. I would go have it done. It's just one more piece to your health puzzle. It is not to be used, as I said, for diagnosis. It is just something that might shed a little bit more light on something. If you've got specific issues, it should show up in your eyes. So I think you can probably Google that information online and see that there's most likely a database of listings of iridologists across the country. So you can check that out. Or if you don't find anything, I would go to if you've got kind of a little bohemian health food store in your neck of the woods, I would go in there because those people for sure will know. They usually know everything about anybody that's doing anything alternative. And a lot of iridologists kind of keep their business a little bit quiet just because, you know, Big Brother, pharmaceuticals, and the Food and Drug Administration, and they don't really like that kind of practice. So it might not be something that you're going to find in your yellow pages. I mean, you could, but I would look elsewhere and ask around. So that was what I had to say about iridology today. If you're interested more on the subject, what did I do with it? I would recommend the book Practical Iridology, and this book is gorgeous. It's got pictures. It means very clear photography, and it teaches you really how you can read your own eyes. And I have a magnifying glass that I use when I look at people's eyes, and I also have a pen light that really, you know, if it's maybe not a real bright sunlit room, I can use this pen light to look in people's eyes. So, you know, Bunny and I are going to go to Matt and Angela's wedding, Mangela's wedding next week, and we are going to be there, so perhaps I'll pack my iridology kit. And listen, I mean, it would be totally like if you go to beauty school and get a manicure from somebody, I mean, you never know what you're going to get. That's how experienced I am at this. I mean, I kind of got it, but I mean, I don't do it every day. So, but it's fun. It's really fun, and I've been able to tell people a few things about themselves that they already knew, and a couple of things that maybe they didn't know, and then they went to their doctor, and sure enough, something was going on in that area. So, anyway, Practical Iridology by Peter Jackson Maine is my recommendation if you're interested in more details. And I hope you guys are doing great on your 100-day raw food challenge. I'm doing better than I had been. Let me just tell you that. I'll leave it at that. And I've actually lost a couple of pounds this last 2 weeks. Praise the Lord. And I'm looking forward to finishing this 100-day challenge strong. And I'm going to finish my 100-day challenge and survive it with Bunny Berry. And I am going to make progress. And I hope you feel the same way. So it's great being back with you. And don't forget, especially for your eyes' sake, eat your veggies. Bye.